We promised it, now we delivered. Kid Dynamite. Look, he's even got a soccer
Hey,
shirt on. What's happening, Gordy
that's
Gurson?
it. That's it. How you doing, man? How you doing?
Doing great. It is wonderful to see you. The last time I saw you was on the field in
Was
Lakeland as you
yeah.
were running right by me, setting up 2 goals and scoring one other for yourself. The Florida Tropics taking a bite out of the Sockers on that particular day. And now here we are. You were the first MASL free agent to sign, and you did so in America's finest city with the Sockers. So let's start right then and there. Let's go through the process. How was this decision made for you to come to San Diego?
After the situation that happened in Florida, I was looking to make a move that I was going to feel secure. And after 6 years in the league, I've been just hearing nothing but great things from the Sockers, and it was kind of a no-brainer for me. And from the experiences that I've had with Phil with the U.S. national team, it's been night and day the way that I've been treated in the league from the way that he's been treating me. So I think it's time that I deserve that year round, and to get that opportunity to just worry about playing and not have any other issue, no worries. And I'm just really excited to see what I can do on the field for you guys.
Absolutely. I mean, you bring it up. You played very well for Orlando, but a franchise that was in tough straits pretty much the whole time you were there. You went to Florida. Things on the surface looked terrific. I know talking to you and Ruggles back in October in Perth, a lot of smiles, a lot of sunshine. Certainly was a great record for the Tropics, but things didn't end the way you wanted to, Gordy, in Florida. What can you say about that? What would you like to say about
that? It was just a heartbreaking moment. I just felt like, for me, I was one of the first signings the Tropics made last year in the free agency. And, they had given me an opportunity to provide them with a list of players that I thought would help us get to a championship. And I gave them a list of about 8 players, and they went after every single one. And, so to me, it felt like, they wanted the championship and they were willing to put in the work. But at the same time, all the hard work for me, I felt like was a waste at the end for what happened.
Yeah, I mean, they let you go, but it certainly wasn't for the way you were playing. You were like on a 5-game goal streak. Was it an injury thing? Was it a straight cash thing? I mean, what can you say about it?
Yeah, so I just, I was starting to feel my form. I got hurt the first game of the season, and then I was out for about 4 games, and then I came back, and once I was starting to get back into form, right into warm-ups against Sonora, I ended up popping my hip, or something had happened in my hip. And so for me, it was just do rehab and do what I can to get back on the field for the playoffs so I could still help the team. And that was what I was doing for about 2 weeks. They didn't want to do it anymore. They made as a business, and, I respect that decision. I packed my bags and I left, but it's not the decision I wanted to make at all.
For sure. So that's what it comes down to is, do we want to pay you for the chance you may come back versus and that's business, but business and sports often have an ugly collision. And here is a case where, as you said, I mean, if you compare that to the San Diego Sockers, I've mentioned it on the podcast multiple times, and I'll say it again here, that our staff, no one got furloughed, no one got let go. We're working from home. We're one of the few clubs right now that's been putting out content on a daily and weekly basis and keeping things alive. And I truly think that's because of only one person, and that's Phil Salvaggio.
And, that's great to hear, as far as the people that are around the league and are helping out a team, you know what I mean? They also have jobs. This is their lives as well. So, I mean, I know the front office staff in Florida, a lot of people did get cut. And, it's sad to see, because that's their job. That's their income. So it's a big struggle right now.
For sure. Now, Gordy, the first time I ever met you was pretty amazing. And I think about the 2014-15 year and that season, and there's just a lot going on. That was, for me, my last year before going to hockey for 3 seasons, but this is not about me. It's about the first time I met you was with one of the most ill-fated franchises I've ever experienced in my life. Seattle Impact, a true story unto themselves. And then on the tail end of that with Team USA for that WMF World Cup in 2015 and our crazy barnstorm around the country for a week.
That was a trip.
Right? I mean, in terms of an introduction to indoor soccer, you couldn't have had two more highs and lows than that rookie year.
That was 1 year to remember, that's for sure. And it was it's one I'll never forget. And you know what, at the end of the day, it brought me to where I am today. And I'm happy to get another chance and another start with San Diego.
Absolutely. When you think about the Sockers, and you know, you've competed against them, you've watched, you competed with them, with many of them at WMF World Cup, but how do you see yourself fitting in? I mean, I think for a lot of Sockers fans, we see a great kid like Brandon Escoto, who was a first-team All-League attacking mid, you plug in, and we go, okay, Gordy's going to do the Escoto role. I mean, you're not a lefty, but what are your thoughts on that in terms of how you're going to fit into the Sockers attack?
You know, I'm actually interested to hear what they want me as a role. You know, I'm open to whatever they want. If they want me to have the defensive role, I'm all for that. If they want me to score goals, I'm all for that too. I know that we have weapons on the team. I know that anybody could score the goals. So I know that whether I'm passing it or shooting it, someone else is going to put it in. So I feel very comfortable with what we have. And like I said, I'm just excited to work with Phil. So wherever he puts me, I'll be ready to work.
You know, along those lines, Gordy, last year in Florida, and you talked about it, it wasn't just you. You know, in Orlando, in St. Louis, Cedar Rapids, a lot of times it was kind of just you in terms of the offense. You were the number one gun. In Florida, you were surrounded with great players, whether it was a Carvalho, whether it was a Pereiras, Drew, you know, and you can really go down the line. And I've been making that note is that you were a guy in Florida who had more assists than goals. And I thought that was a really good sign for Sockers fans that when you were surrounded with talent, it wasn't, hey, I'm just going to camp out over here in the left corner. You better get me the ball. It was, you figured out your role to make that machine hum too.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like because my role has been, you know, people think I'm shooting the ball. So to me, a nice little take a shot, pass it, lay it off to somebody that everybody's got their eyes on me, expecting me to shoot. Why not give it a shot where I'm laying it off? And, you know, it worked out for me in Florida this year. I had weapons with me where I knew that if I was passing it, they were going to finish. And it made it a lot easier for me. And I'm excited to keep that role with San Diego.
Absolutely. I think there's going to be a lot of fun to come, my friend. We've still got a little ways to get from this summer and through these crazy dark clouds that surround our society that we are hoping to find our way all safely through. And I wish you the best of health and safety over the course of the summer. But most importantly, I look forward to a winter when we have you out here in America's finest city, able to be a part of this club and to help us toward that 15th championship. One last thing before you go. What are your thoughts on so far what you've seen? I mean, Max Ferdinand goes from Milwaukee to St. Louis. It looks like this might be an interesting year of some moves around the league.
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting, especially, you know, nobody knows what's going to happen with the season, with how many games we're going to play, the length of the season. So, and anything's up in the air. I feel like it's going to be kind of like how maybe the MLS do it, a little tournament. Who knows? But I feel like it's anybody's game this year. And, you know, I'm just going to make sure that our odds are in San Diego.
That's it. You can count on that T-shirt, buddy. There's 14 stars there. We're looking to add one.
I need a 15. I need Thompson right here. I need a ring.
Oh, Gordy Gurson, Kid Dynamite. It is so great to have you getting ready to go boom in America's finest city. You were our 4th of July gift to the Sockers fans, was a stick of Kid Dynamite.
To give them what I can give them.
All right, Gordy, thank you so much, my brother. I look forward to seeing
you out here. Thanks a lot, Craig. Good talking to you.